Tierra Blanca Arts Center invites you to live with us Semblanza 2014, Europe and America. More than 15 countries representing both.
Pues muy buenas tardes a todos. Thank you for being with us. My name is Blanca Soto. I'm the president and founder of Tierra Blanca Arts Center. And we are very honored and pleased to have a special guest this afternoon, our way to Semblanza or rumbo a Semblanza or journey to Semblanza, as you want to call it. So we feel very, very honored to have with us someone who's been along with Tierra Blanca Arts Center and Semblanza since 2000, I believe 2009. So we're going to bring on screen to our beautiful coordinator of talent, Grace Vega. Miss Grace Vega, yay, you're here. Thank you so much for being with us. And I'm so excited that you're here with us, you know, because I'm always feel lonely, but it's so exciting to see you that you're here. And very, very happy to have this afternoon amazing guests. Yes. So let's have them on. So please help me to introduce them.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, help me. Well, bear with me. We have representing the countries of Germany and Scandinavia. We're going to begin with Germany from the city of Anaheim, not too far from us. We have the dance group De Gu Mit Lish In Schuplatter. We have Han and Hannah Habed Eder and Professor Klaus Hornell. Welcome. And
welcome.
Thank you.
And from the Scandinavia dancers of Southern California, we have Representative Miss Sandy Johnson. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great to be here.
So very happy that you all got here and you look amazing as always. You know, every time I see people wearing their costumes because they're carrying with love their tradition, their folk, their history. So we're going to start by you guys helping us and telling us a little bit more about you. Where were you from? How you came to United States, and how is it that you got this beautiful encounter with your tradition, your folk, your history? And because I always say this is the most amazing drug in the world. Once you involve with your culture, you cannot let go back, right? So whoever wants to start, if you want to start sharing your story with us, go ahead. Just raise your hand and go for it. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm also Professor Hans Haveida. I came to this country with my parents from Bavaria in Germany. I was born in Obermenzing, and we moved to this country. My father was one of the founders of the Phoenix Club in Anaheim, which was the German community, and he always wanted to start a Bavarian dance group to preserve the Bavarian traditions and cultures. And he started doing that in 1969, but it wasn't until 1971 that we actually got a group together of people who wanted to learn the dances and the traditions, and who were willing to practice and perform at that time. At the time, I was only here in the summertime because I was in graduate school, and then I moved to Germany. I was a professor of astrophysics and mathematics in Germany, and later here. And then I worked at Hughes Aircraft for 41 years. And I got into this culture through my father. He's the one that it came to me from him. His enthusiasm wrapped itself around me, and I've been working and looking at traditions and history ever since that time. And so I'll turn it over to my wife.
I'm originally from Vienna, from Austria. I came here.
I'm sorry to interrupt. If you want to say your name again and which country your costume is from.
I am from Austria, from Vienna, and I'm wearing a Southern Bavarian costume tonight. Especially the hat has a lot of tradition. I came here in 1982 with my first husband, who passed away, and then I met Hans, and he really pulled me into the Bavarian tradition. But the Austrians have a lot of tradition themselves, so it was very easy for him to pull me in his direction. Music is music, and the Bavarians and Austrians, especially Salzburg vicinity, we are pretty much one family anyway, because they were together and apart and together and apart. So it really is one region who really treasures all that tradition, the music, the dance, the outfits. So it depends from which area you are. But today I am wearing Southern Bavaria, and especially the hat is a very old traditional hat. It has very, very long ribbons in the back.
Oh, nice.
Beautiful. So when you set up, it goes.
Oh, wow. It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
It's embroidered, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And it is a very old original one from the original hat maker. So it is from 1910.
Wow.
Wow.
Yes.
And
the original ribbons too.
it was by the inventor, made by the inventor of that hat style, Miss Brunhuber in southern Germany. And what's interesting about it is there's a large amount of gold thread on the bottom of the hat. If you can lift your head maybe a bit,
Yeah.
you can see it.
Oh, yes, yes.
And
yes.
that's real gold thread. So the hat is extremely heavy.
It's very heavy, and of course the ribbon helps pulling it down
Counterbalance.
too. And with we call that a joker. So you really have the correct posture. You cannot go. So you have the right posture to always dance in the right posture and always be ready to enjoy. But I love the tradition. I love the music. And from me, my contribution is you had a Semblanza last December. Do you remember the Krampus?
Sí. Yes.
Yeah.
That is my contribution.
Oh.
These fellows.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Those were hand carved.
Those are hand carved in one piece of out of one piece of wood.
Wow.
Beautiful.
And those are original horns.
Goat
So
horns.
goat horns. So you might remember from December, that is my contribution to the group. And whatever we can do, we help the group because we can travel and we can support, and we will try to do whatever we can to help and support the group and let it grow.
Beautiful. So really, I just want to ask your husband if he can please say his name again.
Oh,
And-
I'm Hans Habereder.
Hans Habereder, yes.
Right.
And how do you get into the dance group that you are involved in? How did that group start?
Well, I came in through my father, who founded the group, and when I came back, I was teaching university in college and gymnasium in Germany, and then when I came back, then he made it helped me join the group, and I did, and I was in the group, and then I had some other issues to deal with, some work issues to where I had to travel. I was on international travel, and I was not able to be with the group for some years. But then later I rejoined, and we both of us are very interested in preserving traditions. We even went to the American Hopi Indians and had discussions with them about how important it is for them to preserve their tradition as well.
So it runs in several groups. Those of us who are interested in tradition treasure the tradition.
Correct.
So we have to find ways that we can share and bring it to the young ones so they understand that they develop the same love we have.
Yeah.
But this is a long way.
I know.
But we spend usually every year several months in Bavaria and Austria. And we're also members of groups over there, traditional groups over there. And that helps reinforce the traditions. And you learn so much when you do that. I learned so much that I write articles about the traditions, and they're published in North America by an organization that of Bavarian Schuhplattler groups. I have an article in there every issue on traditions.
Wonderful.
It's the Los André.
I just wanted to add something.
Sure.
I found a way that I can teach little ones in school, after school programs, teach them folk dancing, and then they get curious, and then they want to get busy with it, and that is so much fun. But it is us who have to reach out.
Totally. It's true. It's so true. And you know what? And it's so amazing how if you connect with the little ones, the parents will follow.
Yes.
That's correct. That's correct.
That's great. So go ahead.
No, it is also very rewarding because they are at the age group between 5 and 12. And when they are dancing with me, they are all age groups, and we're just having fun with it. And having fun with it, and then they have success with it, and I did that.
And then they get to perform in front of a big audience.
So then it's very rewarding when they are happy.
That's wonderful.
Very good. So I don't know if anybody else would like to share their connection through the folk and how you became. Yeah, go ahead.
Sure. Okay. Well, I started my
You want to
involvement.
start with your name and where you your costume or your representation today?
Well, my name is Klaus Hornell, and I'm a member of the same group that Hans and Hannah are. I was born in Pennsylvania, and I became involved with a Bavarian folk dance group after I spent a year as an exchange student over in Germany as a way to continue being able to speak the language.
Nice.
So it was very interesting when I joined, because there were people that were 70 and 80 years old and had come to this country, and they came from totally different parts that didn't even do the kind of dances or wear the kind of, let's call it, dress that we wear, but they all adopted a common style for the purpose of really preserving part of that culture, including the language. So I started in the early 80s, and I became very involved when I moved out to California in the mid 90s. What I like to do is, since I teach German at Fullerton College, I frequently appear in cultural attire, and I make my students aware of that. So
that is so cool.
When I come in wearing something like just an office shirt, they ask me, what, are you sick today? Or usually I give them some excuse like, well, you realize I have to spend a half an hour ironing a shirt and I just didn't have the time. So teaching and wearing this attire is one way to introduce them to the clothing related part of the culture. I play music in the background, usually some Bavarian or some Austrian music. And I encourage them to go to events at the Phoenix Club that we host, where we're dancing and, where essentially we're demonstrating facets of the culture. And that's kind of my contribution to preserving it. And if we can pick up a few people along the way that are interested and want to join, then that happens too. That said, they do learn how to dance in my class when we actually learn numbers.
Oh, that's great.
Because the type of dancing that we do some of the dances consist of hits on the soles of the shoe and on the thighs, and they're number sequences. And so it fits in really well when you're teaching a lesson about counting and numbers. And additionally, I have high schools around Southern California that have me come and put on a show when they have a cultural day. It's kind of like a solo performance, but then I get all the spectators and to participate. And so like everybody is out there learning how to do the dance.
That is so amazing. And I think it's just like you said, you're teaching them how to sing with numbers and dancing. It becomes a choreography, and all of a sudden you had a number.
Exactly. What Hans and Hannah are wearing today, of course, as they just mentioned, represents areas in southern Bavaria. The three of us more or less coordinated what we would be wearing prior to appearing this evening. So the decision was made to allow them to wear Southern Bavarian, and then I decided I would wear something that represents Austria.
Thank you, Klaus.
So what I'm wearing, it actually represents an area which is called the Salzkammergut, which includes areas of Upper Austria, the Steiermark, and Salzburgerland. I'm only wearing it down to my chest, because everything below my chest is I'm just wearing a pair of sweats, because when we're on Zoom, it really doesn't. No, I will show you the.
Nice.
You can.
Oh wow, that's beautiful.
Kind of see
but now
what
I have to explain
what I look like.
Yes.
Klaus, you want to explain the difference in stitching between your pants and mine?
Now what I'm wearing, the pants part, these are called Lederhosen, And I'm
They're
wearing,
so beautiful.
thank you. And I'm wearing a type which is primarily worn in Austria, almost exclusively in Austria, but they spill over into the border areas of southern Bavaria. But the main difference between what I'm wearing and what Hans is wearing is that this is relief stitching. Everything I have on here is relief stitching. It's all hand done. And when the stitching is performed, it creates a bulge in the leather so that the surface of the leather, is raised. The type that Hans is wearing is a type of embroidery where the thread actually goes over the surface and creates the design that way.
Beautiful.
And his are very particular to Bavaria, especially Upper Bavaria. While the ones, of course, that I'm wearing are, you would find them for the most part in Upper Austria, in the Steiermark, and in Salzburger Land.
Right.
And I noticed the Hans has a belt, is it like built into pants, or it's separate?
No, it's separate. It's a belt that is made out of leather, and the stitching, interestingly enough, on this belt is made from peacock quills. Peacock quills. And it's all hand work. It's very time consuming, and I think on the other side, if you can see the design on that side, and maybe on this side, it's over here.
Oh my God, that's beautiful.
That's traditionally of the Chiemgau, which is around the Chiemsee area of Bavaria. This is the tracht that they wear. Like I said, every region wears different tracht. The Chiemgau, the hat with the plume.
You calling tracht to the vest?
Pardon me?
You said the vest is the tracht?
That is part of. We call it tracht. We don't call it costume. We call it tracht because people used to wear this for everyday things. They wore the leather pants. Actually, leather pants go back to the Celtic times in Europe. So they go way back. So I'm back to Klaus.
Well, anyway, we all have these. These are what Hans was just talking about is this kind of leather belt which is embroidered with peacock feather quills. And you've also find them in southern Bavaria, as well as in Austria, as well as in the German-speaking areas of northern Italy. And in some cases they're part of the tracht or the outfit, and some cases they're not. It really depends which region and which group you're talking about, because there are differences that you will see from group to group. It's kind of established what is permissible in terms of what they wear, and and what isn't. And when you're talking about groups, they wear basically the same style, but allow for differences. For example, in the embroidery on the Lederhosen.
But usually they have the same color
yes.
in the embroidery. It's all of the same color in the group.
Right. The last thing that I wanted to talk about with respect to the stitching of these Lederhosen that you'll see is this style is from an area called Aussee which is in the Steiermark, and they differ in terms of the numbers of embroidered seams that they have. So on this pair, you could see that there is this is called a Zeckler seam, which Zeckler is a person that makes Lederhosen, and this is where the front and the back of the pants are basically sewn together. So this is just a normal seam, but everything else is actually an embroidered seam. And so you actually have 1, 2, 3, 4, and you have 1, 2, 3, 4 on the other side, and they add those up, and it creates a total of 9 seams.
Wow.
Some of them have fewer. There are ones that only have 7, 5, and 3.
Wow. It's just amazing. I was going to tell you that I need to read some of the comments because people are so much engaged in this beautiful interview. Samantha Vega says, hello, Liebes Laute, Liebes Laute. I think she's writing German, I'm not sure.
Leute.
And
Leute, yeah.
yeah.
Leute, yeah.
There you go. And then we have also members of Tierra Blanca says, felicidades, your work preserving and promoting your culture, folk and music and dance, it's a gift. And Patty Draper says, I had a hard time getting on. Oh, so I missed the first 10 minutes. Don't worry, you didn't miss much, but I'm so happy that you made it. So Chris Sanson, they say, it's wonderful to see the barbarian costume and the explanation for their creation. Thanks. Kathy Draper is a lovely costume. Aaron Rivera said, hi, you two look amazing. Kathy Lechkel, I hope I pronounced it right. She's here with us. Aaron Rivera says, LOL. I guess he was laughing about your stories. And Tim Ventura is here. Claudia Diaz too. Kathy Lechkel.
Leszke.
Yes, there you go. He said, great job, Hans, Hannah, and Klaus. Aaron Rivera, he said, I love all your stories. And Matty Barrera is here. Rob Gunekman says LOL. And Amanda too, LOL. And Roger Aguirre is here with us. And Gilda M. Petit, this is beautiful. So everybody's here and very happy that you're sharing your stories and everything else. So finally, we're gonna have the presentation and just the introduction because we need to talk a lot more things. So I think that the ladies here with us from Scandinavian group.
Yeah, Miss Sandy Johnson. I think she just stepped away.
Yeah, I think so.
No, she's here.
Yeah,
Oh, you mean that? Yeah, but she's not in the picture. Okay. So one of the things that I think is very important that people understand what Semblanza is about is that we wanted to share with the rest of the people who are here in Southern California and for all over the world. If you're watching from anywhere that you are watching, we wanted to tell you how important it is for us to continue our tradition, folk, and culture, because you carry your history, your roots, and everything that you do. They just show the costume. No costume. How do you say you pronounce it?
Tracht.
Well, if I could just interject real quickly.
Sure.
The word Tracht comes from the verb tragen in German, and tragen means to wear, and so that is a derivative which creates that noun, which is what we use. Yeah.
Looks like we got.
So Sandy's here.
There you go.
Hi. Thank you so much, Sandy, for being with us. We're so excited. So please tell us about yourself.
My name is Sandy Johnson, and I've been with the Scandia Dancers since 1987. And before you moved on to another subject, I just wanted to interject. Our group was actually founded in 1984 by Donna Tripp. She and Ted Martin have been incredible crusaders for the Scandinavian dance movement in Southern California as well as in the US. And they've traveled countless times to Scandinavia, learning dances from Sweden, Norway, Denmark, and Finland. And as also then we have, and it's really established a very strong learning base here. There have been classes in Culver City every month, every week actually, and in Anaheim every week. And my sister and I actually stumbled upon the group at that time at a folk festival up at Cal Lutheran College in Thousand Oaks. They have a wonderful Scandinavian 2-day festival every spring. Unfortunately, not this year, but normally they have, it's a parent day, and then they just bring in groups, dancers, singers, booths, and really celebrate the cultures of the various Scandinavian countries. And somebody told us about it. We went, and this group was performing. They were having so much fun together. The music was so engaging. And we went up and we literally tugged on their skirts and said, how do we join? This is too much. Can we join? What do we do? And they told us about the classes. Scandinavian dancing is challenging. Anybody can do it. Even our teachers, Donna and Ted, have told us that even after 40 years, they're still learning the nuances of the dance. I didn't wear a costume today because they're heavy wool, they're extremely warm, but I thought I'd show you a little bit of the footwear. This is since you had beautiful costumes, this is a Norwegian typical dance shoe with a big silver buckle, almost looks like a pilgrim shoe. But you'll notice that the heel is very low and flat because a lot of the turns that the women do are their heel. So you need a really stable surface. You will not dance heel in Scandinavian dancing. And the fins, this could either be in black or in natural leather. They have the little teeny turned up to again, and it's very soft. Finnish dancing is very lively, very bouncy. You need a lot of energy and really good knees. And this is not a dance shoe, but I just thought I'd share it since it's pretty cool. This is a boot that has been, I think these were my mom's from the 60s or 70s. And these are,
oh my God, they're so
they're
beautiful.
it's a reindeer skin and they're quite lovely and they're the warmest things you'll ever see. Super comfortable. And the old and derogatory term was Lap, but now the Laplanders are called Sami. That is their real indigenous name. So I thought I'd share that since I didn't have my costumes on. Got the Swedish flag behind me. Our group has performed all over Southern California. We've been fortunate to have danced at the Cal Lutheran Festival. Turlock would have a festival every year. Kingsburg has a festival. We've done private functions, Vasa lodges, which is the Swedish lodges, Many Sons of Norway, Balboa Park, statewide folk dance festival, IKEA store openings, private functions and weddings. So we've really had a great time. We've been fortunate to also have been invited to perform in Europe. We've been to Norway and Finland. We're guest performers there. And the group has been as large as 40 people, which is—
Sandy, I just need to ask you something because I know it's going to be same like my experience. How do you people feel that you are living this culture here in the United States, and then you go back to Finland and dance their dances? How do they feel?
So that's a really great question. I grew up in Minnesota, and it's very Scandinavian there. When I go back to Sweden, I have a lot of friends and relatives. They tease my sister and I that we're more Swedish than they are. They think that the dancers are amazed that there are so many Americans that do Scandinavian dancing. There are areas in the US, in Seattle, Chicago, back east, Tennessee, Texas, of course, Minnesota, Washington, DC, all have pockets of very, very strong Scandinavian dance groups. We have camps in Mendocino, Julian, Buffalo Gap, West Virginia, the Poconos, all over the US that have, or Maine now, Wisconsin, where we bring over choreographers and teachers to actually teach us and further the culture. So we're learning the actual correct dance. The dances are very much alive in Norway and Sweden. They think that it is incredible that we want to learn those dances. Now, I would say in our group, about half of us have some sort of a connection to Scandinavia. All of my grandparents are from Sweden. The other half have no connection family-wise. They come from all ethnic backgrounds, but it's the music that engages us. And I think it's the personal connections that we've all made, both within the group and then also with groups that we met. When I was looking at the pictures of in the beginning of this, say, oh, I remember those folks. Oh, I remember those guys too. And how much fun that we had at Semblanza talking to the other groups. And I think that's probably the most engaging thing. We've made lifelong friends in Scandinavia, teachers that have come over here. I mean, people travel. We've been very fortunate to be able to travel back and forth, but they're amazed. A little bit of a funny story. We were actually invited to go to Finland, and the choreographer of Finland said, we need a group from America. And we had an incredible couple that was studying here at UC Irvine, getting their master's in dance. And they went back to Finland and they said, we have a group for you. They're old. Our median age at the time was 55. And they couldn't believe, because Finnish dances are so lively. And they do have groups that still dance there that are beyond high school and college, but not very many. It's a little bit more laid back. So when we came over there to dance for them, we literally shocked them, because we were, oh gosh, I think our oldest member at the time was almost 80.
Wow.
Yeah. The age of the group we figured out was 55, and we were literally like sensational, because we were still dancing and we still loved it. And they couldn't believe it. And none of us have Finnish connections, but we had these Finnish choreographers that taught us these incredible dances. And so you don't have to be of that ethnic culture to enjoy that dance and that music.
Yeah.
You know, I don't have to be Mexican to enjoy Mexican food, you know, so it goes both ways. You can enjoy the music and the culture and you don't have to be, it's not a right just because you were born into that ethnicity.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of it. So.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things we always said. I always tell my students, you don't need to be born in Mexico. Mexico can born within you.
Exactly.
So, because,
exactly.
you know, and it takes someone with that passion, with that love. I can see, Sandy, that you just love your culture, and you love to share it. When you find someone like Hans, like all our guests here, that they have so much passion and love for what they do and how they transmit it to other people, that you have to learn it. You want to fall in love, and you want to find more about it, right? So, which is great. And I have some comments here for you. Someone says that Kathy Draper, Draper says,
Draper, yeah.
We were still dancing after the teenage years. And then Sandy, you have Sammy's boots?
Yes, I do.
And then Sandra Sartorius is watching, is here with us. Amanda says, incredible how everyone tries to travel back home as much as possible. What the one thing you must do in order to complete your trip before traveling back to the US? She's asking. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure I quite understood the question.
What is one thing that you have to go see, or do you have to go bring, or something before you come back to the US when you travel?
In Scandinavia?
You travel back. And this question is for Hans.
For everybody.
Buddy.
Oh, it's
Well,
difficult.
it's for us. It's attend festivals in Bavaria where we wear the Tracht and you know, and we fit right in. And then they come and tell us, boy, you speak funny German. You have an American accent.
I would say go to a small, go to a conditori, you know, like a bakery, and strike up a conversation with a local person. Just meet somebody from that country, because they're just as curious and excited about meeting us as we are about them. For me, it's all about the people. It truly is.
I think that is for all of us.
Yep.
Otherwise, we wouldn't be involved, and we wouldn't be as good as we are.
Yeah, the thing that I find we can do, we can always learn more about our traditions whenever we go. And I do some research over there for my articles that I write, and I write them here. But you know, traditions are the basis of culture, and once you lose your traditions, where is your culture going to go? So that's very important. At least to me, it's very important to maintain that, and that's why I do what I do.
But I have to.
Go ahead, Anna.
I have to agree with Sandy. That is your name.
Yeah.
I have to go to a conditorei.
Without
a conditorei.
It's just not worth living.
There you go. Because over here we do not get it.
We don't get it.
Yeah.
So we have to have it. And of course, Klaus is wearing the pants from the area I love, because in that area, that's where the Austrian emperor always went for hunting season, and he has his hunting lodge there. And that's the lake region of Austria. And there you have the best conditories.
Oh yeah. We buy them out. We buy everything they have.
But you said the word and I said, that is correct. We have to have some sweets before we come back.
Yep.
And it's a nice place to people watch also, and to just,
Absolutely.
but
Absolutely.
you also, when you're traveling, you're always, busy looking at all the scenery and the museums and all the, and that's that little oasis where you just sit down, gather your thoughts, observe what, you have moms with babies, and you'll have businessmen coming in, and it's just that little oasis in the craziness of travel where you can sit and just enjoy coffee and some nice,
Just for information, is Stephanie Holtzman. He said, what are conditori?
A conditorei.
Conditori.
Conditorei. That is
or
where the fine pastries are made.
Yeah.
You serve there nothing but fine pastries and coffee.
Or tea.
Nice.
And in Scandinavia, they also have sandwiches and lunches.
That's correct. But
And an
conditorei is
inexpensive place
just
to have lunch. Yeah.
But you can explain.
Yeah.
You can explain that in Germany and Austria, there is a profession, which is a conditor, which is confectioner. And those people specialize in the preparation of, let's just call it higher class, fine baked goods, primarily cakes, torts that have multi-layers, buttercream in between. It's
Wonderful.
It's like a restaurant that you go to that only serves cake. And if you go up to the glass counter, there are between 25 and 50 different kinds, and you want them all.
thank you, Klaus.
That's right. That's when we are in Bavaria, we can't stay away from the conditories very long.
Difficult.
3-4 days maybe, and that's it. But you don't gain weight because you walk a lot.
Yeah.
There you go.
But you gave me the word. I'm sorry I made it that long. But you said conditorei. I have to have before I come back.
I have a question. If you have 3 things to tell the young generations, even though they are probably not born in those countries that you hear, and you want to know, and why it's so important, just tell us 3 things, why it's so important to keep your culture and your roots alive, even though you're not in that country that you were born. How is it for you, and why is it you keep on doing this? If you can share 3 things that gives you that.
I don't know if I can share 3. I can share 1.
Go ahead.
We were traveling through New Mexico, and we stopped at a Hopi Indian. Actually, it was a casino, and we were just traveling, and we started talking to some of the Indians about traditions and how if they lose their traditions, they can lose their culture. And before you knew it, there were like 20 people, Indians around us, and we spent 2-3 hours talking about traditions and culture and how important it is to maintain those, because traditions form the basis of a culture. They always change. They're never static. But if you don't understand your traditions, how can you go into the future?
Now, the way I see it, the tradition is also part of your foundation. If you have no foundation, where are you standing on? Where can you build on? Without a foundation, you do not have a house and you have no home. Then you're just floating. You are just going with the flow. My tradition is my culture and my tradition. That is my basis, and I built on that. And if I can understand and live my tradition, then I can help and understand other traditions and other people. So I use that as a understanding piece. And that's what we should give to the young and say, see, I'm different. I look different. I speak different. As I say to my kids, I speak funny, right? Right, Miss Hannah, you speak funny. I said, but we understand each other. Yes, Miss Hannah. So we differentiate ourselves, but at the very same time, we attract them as well. So by doing that, by give and take, we can show them we can be together. And that's the most important what the young have to learn.
That's true. That's true. Very, very, very true. So you want to share something, Sandy? Go ahead.
And for me, it's that sense of community, that sense of belonging, that family. The dancer, I mean, our group, since '87, I mean, this is my family. And I'm impressed and thrilled at how many who are non-Swedish have learned Swedish, because they had to learn the songs, because in the performances, they all know the Swedish birthday song. But that, and the community isn't just here. Then the community spreads over to when we do have the opportunity to travel. But it's also amongst the dancers in the world. You know, at the Semblanza, there's all these dancers and groups running around. All of a sudden, you know, the Swedes are sitting with the Scots, and then the girls from Thailand are over there. And hey, you girls, what are you doing over there? You know, and so the community grows.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
And it's building on what Hannah said. It's that without that belonging or that place to belong, because we are a big melting pot here in the U.S., having those unique things to grab onto is that foundation. Yeah, I think they're really interconnected.
Yeah.
I wanted to add, actually going on your experience with Semblanza. I was wondering if any of you had noticed your influence among other countries, like Mexico has the hub dance. Yeah, that's our Sinaloa. So yeah. With your experience in Semblanza, did you notice other countries that you could see your influences, or how they might have influenced your culture?
Well, I know how some of the Austrian culture influenced Mexican culture. They came over with the button box, and which is an accordion. It's like an accordion, right? But it has buttons instead of keys. And that was brought over with Maximilian. And the Mexican people took that. And in fact, in Austria and Bavaria, it almost went away. And it was through the Mexicans that it came back.
And it is interesting, Mexico has a lot of melodies we have in Austria too. Yeah. So music binds you together too. So we always can share, and we can hand down, but at the same time we receive as well. So
yeah,
that's the beauty. Semblanza, I have noticed our team enjoys being with you up to now. We, as old folks, we sometimes just can't go because we are busy, but this next time, whenever everything is open, we promise we will be there. But we always supported our group, because without the masks, they wouldn't have had the Krampus there either. So.
That's right. I think I don't see your name, Cornell.
Yeah.
Klaus. I think it was pending your three things. Why you say that? Why would you recommend to young people or to people who are watching this to maintain the roots and the culture and traditional life?
Well, I always like to talk about furthering one's understanding of things that people really are, let's just say, ignorant of. I think it opens up a whole new vista, a whole new world that people, specific people don't know anything about. It gives them something to talk about. It gives them something to learn to appreciate. And when we're talking about this sense of community that Sandy touched upon, it is absolutely amazing the connections that you make with other people that are doing this for the same reason. You know, when we look at the culture that we're trying to perpetuate, we have groups throughout the United States and throughout Canada. And you talk about the sense of belongingness and the sense of family that people that belong to these groups feel. So any of us could go from Los Angeles and contact somebody in Minnesota or in Florida or in Vancouver in a similar group, and we would be welcome there with open arms. Or we could do the same thing with a group in Bavaria and be welcomed there with open arms, because we are all in this for the same thing, which is to perpetuate the culture and to celebrate it. And we discover, you know, what a rewarding experience it is to do that. And when you discover other groups, whether it's Swedish or Irish or Mexican, they are doing essentially the same thing with their particular culture, but there's something that connects us all because we all share this love for that culture. But there's so many things within those individual cultures which overlap. You know, this love for music, or the love for upholding a language or a dialect, or a love for, you know, for enjoying food. I mean, things that everybody all over the world have in common, laughing and having good experiences together. And that's really, you know, that's really what it is all about.
Beautiful. And it's so, just to share with you that, you know, the people are connecting with us is Genoveva Aguilar. She's here with us. Rosy Navarro also say hi. We say hi to them. And Rafael Valpuesta, he's saying that Rhine Valley is also a beautiful place in Germany and is such a great country. And he is from Mexico, but he's commenting on this. Austria is one of the most beautiful countries I've ever visited. I stayed in Innsbruck for some time, and it was truly magical. Also, Rafael comments, and most of the northern states in Mexico have undoubtable German and Austrian influences. Our cuadrillas, polkas, redoba, and mazurkas are definitely from Germany.
Right.
And we do mazurkas too.
Yeah.
Polkas, yeah.
Mazurkas.
Mazurka, yeah.
Hungarian.
One of the things I would love to ask you to share with us is if you have this, I have this experience and I share with you this experience. We had the honor to perform for the workers assembly. It was like a big convention. It was over 10,000 workers, and most of them were from Mexico. And there were hotel and restaurant employees, and there was the convention, like a national convention. So they asked my dance company to perform a song, and we have this song that's called the Canción Mixteca, and it has a little phrase that it says, "Please, if I ever die away from my country, tell them that I'm sleeping, so they can send me back to my country." It has this little phrase, que digan que estoy dormido y que me traigan aquí. So, México lindo y querido, si muero lejos de ti. Mexico, my lovely country, if I ever die away from you. So when we sang that part, you know, and I had the dancer just, you know, just moving their mouth, because really was the mariachi singing. People were crying, and workers came after us, you know, and hug us and say thank you for bringing this piece of Mexico to us, because some of us has been years since I haven't been able to go back to my country, and you have no idea what a beautiful moment you gave me. I don't know if you have a story like that to share with us, you know, from people from those countries that probably haven't been able to visit, or probably children that are not born there, but they see it and they live it because you give them with all your heart. See, go ahead, Sandy.
We have, for many, many years, performed at the Lawrence Welk villages, the retirement villages, and every year there are, and of course, you know, we do it, they rent out they book the Minnesota room, but it's all the Minnesotans, the people from Washington, and all the Scandinavians, and then anybody else interested. And every single year, a couple of people come up, and especially I remember one elderly gentleman would come up to one of the girls and say, "You look just like the girl that I left behind." And every time I think of that, and you can see that little, glint in his eye, and you just, yeah. So that's the only one that I can, that really, really stuck with me for a long, long time. But you can just see people just in general, when you're at even a festival, the more you're having fun, the more I think they want to get up there and join. And we always have, teaching afterward. It's infectious.
It is a good infection.
And at many of the festivals, because that we perform at, they do so much cater to the Scandinavian local population. You can tell, they're just all over it, because like dancing around the maypole, and you sing the kids songs and do the silly things, small frogs, and you act like a little frog going around the maypole. And it's little teeny kids up to people in their 80s, and it's just something that they've grown up with, and it resonates with them, and they just, it's just what you do. It's just what you do. And I know every country has those little things that you've grown up with, and it's part of your childhood. And so I think that it grabs at those heartstrings of your childhood. They're all a little bit different between us, but we all share those memories.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
To us, but they're all shared memories.
I want to share one thing that each of you who were a part of Semblanza 2014, and this was what stuck to me. We were performing, we did the theater, we were at the Los Angeles Beautiful Theater, and we had a special program called An Evening in the Theater, which we invited children at risk to come. And one group was from our probation, the youth probation department. And during our intermission, I was out in the lobby, and one boy, his name was David, I will always remember. He goes, "I didn't know that this could be, that I can come be a part of this." His world never involved being a part of a cultural event at beautiful theater, at a theater, in an evening. And so that really is not just, it was very touching to me, and paid me for that, for all the hours. That was that one moment but that you influenced that, your performances, your dedication, your passion, it inspired him. And yeah, he told me, because I hugged him. I've hugged him. And I'm a mom. So I'm going, "Hijo, my son." He goes, "Please turn your life around." And he goes, "I will. You show that these doors are open to me." So so you can take that story with you if you want an anecdote that each of you were a part of that experience for this young man who, believe it or not, it has been, we are since 2014, so 6 years. So he is probably a young gentleman now, probably 22, 23 years old. And that really was why we did this. All the blood, sweat, and tears, that one moment, I want to share. So yeah.
I think, Cornell, you have something to say, to share with us?
Yes, Klaus. I want to thank everybody for being here this evening, giving me the opportunity to share some of my background and my interest in preserving Bavarian Austrian culture. Unfortunately, tomorrow is the start of school for my son, and there is a big learning curve before the morning arrives, and I have some father duties to attend to. So it was a wonderful experience sharing all this information with you. I hope I have the opportunity to do it again. So I will say in German to everybody, Auf Wiedersehen, and I think you could figure out what that means. Vielen Dank. Thank you for the wonderful opportunity, and I hope to see everybody again real soon.
Thank you so much, Klaus.
Thank you very much for being with us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice
Okay.
to meet you, Klaus.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Nice meeting you.
I'm
Yeah,
speaking,
go ahead. Han.
I'm speaking for our group. Sometimes we are driving to Beaumont, that is a little outside from our area. And there is a senior group, people who do not come to the Phoenix Club anymore because they cannot drive the distance anymore and so forth. And so when I got there the very first time and Hans introduced me to everybody, there were some couples out there who were touched just by speaking my own dialect. I haven't heard that for so long. I haven't heard your pronunciation for so long. You are bringing home over here, and now you're dancing for me too. I said, yes.
Yeah.
And so every time we go there, it is nice to bring them a little bit of home back to them. And that is very, very rewarding. That really, it's special if you can do that.
That's true. That's true. So I don't know if you have a story to share with us. I can remember your name. No, the gentleman.
Hans,
Oh, Hans.
Hans.
No, I was thinking of kind of the same thing that Hannah was Beaumont, but there was another time we went to a library down in the South Bay area.
yes.
And
is
we
touching
danced for them, and these were library patrons who went to this little branch of the library, and Hawthorne, I think it was. I'm not sure exactly anymore, but we danced for them, and I would explain our clothing, and then I would ask them questions. And I found that to be a really interesting way for them to get involved in what you're doing. You know, if you're up there dancing, then I would say, why are they doing that? You have any ideas? And people would come up and say, you know, they got into that. So to me, I found that to be a special way to share, to engage people. And that was a very successful event. And we did a lot of dancing, and we did a lot of talk. I did a lot of talking about Trach, but
we were able to teach some of the dances to them, to get them involved and to dance with us.
Right.
And that was so rewarding for the public because they seldom have a chance to do that.
We often do that. We often get people involved. We used to perform for the Angels game, California Angels. And when they had their Oktoberfest, and we would always get the people that were there outside the stadium in what they called the
waiting area,
beer area. You could drink beer and eat food there, and they had us doing entertainment there, and we would get these people involved, and they got to be, you know, they all of a sudden they're not always paying attention, but when they have to dance, they start paying a lot of attention. So it was a way to get through to them. So that's always a good thing to do, is to get the people involved that you do performances for, is to get them up on the dance floor and do something simple with them, and you'd be surprised how happy they are. It really lights up their eyes. I've seen it over and over.
And one of the main goals of Semblanza is of Tierra Blanca Arts Center is when we do a showcase, or when we have done Semblanza, we wanted to do in a theater for a particular reason, that we want every single light to turn off, and everybody will concentrate on what is performed on stage.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I love is that, you know, it's not about being an amazing dancer or lift the leg up of your head. No, it's about bringing the flavor, the love, and the passion of people. And I always say, you buy a ticket and we're going to take you to 20 countries in one night. Because with one dance,
that's
right?
really great.
With one dance, you can see the flavor and understand a lot of misunderstandings go down, a lot of taboos probably that you have about certain people. they'll come down because even backstage, when all these cultures are talking to each other, it's like a magic happening. And at the same time, we love and respect one another and we understand better. Like you said, Hans, we build bridges
Yeah.
with culture.
That's right.
Instead of all these walls of misunderstanding, they come down when
Yeah,
you're sitting, even in the audience, someone from Germany sitting next to someone from El Salvador, and they're feeling so proud about they're seeing their culture on stage, and their tears come down, and the other person is feeling it, and they go excited with Mexico comes out, they go excited with Sweden comes out, and everybody, it's so beautiful to see that, and that's our main goal, that we that's why we do the photo session, we do the program, and we do a beautiful program. Thank you to Carla Silva, which is our amazing graphic designer. She's beautiful, and Juan Morse is a photographer, always for Semblanza. And these people are so dedicated, just like Grace, like myself. We are volunteers in this project because we want to tell the world, that no matter how far you are from your country, it's always great to connect with the roots and understand other people. Like Sandy mentioned, people who have never been probably to Sweden, they fall in love with the culture. That's because someone with passion have shared with them. So I want you guys to share with me your experience in Semblanza 2014.
I have to,
The photo shoot day was hot.
It's true, it was summer.
Well, you have to understand, our costumes are wool and it's layer upon layer upon layer. So some of them, they're full length. And just standing, I remember that day was so hot when we were doing the photos. Just walking from the parking lot, you're just drenched. I remember, I think I mentioned earlier, during the time between performances, we were down in the I think it was the basement where we were all waiting. There was like a giant green room down there. And I remember looking, and you could, there were the different groups, and then they started sort of, the groups were very segmented at first, and then they started to, the borders came down, and all of a sudden people were mixing between the groups and started chatting amongst it's very typical. You're always, with your own group in the beginning, but then it just takes a minute for somebody to say, "Hi, what are you eating there?" Or, just one small thing. And all of a sudden, the groups start to mingle, and it was lovely. It was lovely. I remember the day being just a lot of fun. The stage was lovely. It was a great stage. And it was a very nice performance. It's not often that we get to be on a real stage like that, actual professional lighting. So that part was a real treat. We're typically in a community room, and because we do so many pattern dances, it's easier to see it when you're slightly elevated. So nice to know that the audience could actually see the configurations that we were doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So for me, and I think the rest of the group, we found it to be a really rewarding day. It was a fun day. It was a fun day. Long day, but fun day.
Yeah.
all I can tell you what the group shared with me, because with us, we were not present, but our group was bubbling over when they shared their experiences. Point one, we had a big group with you guys, and then they said the end result was they were dancing with everybody and everybody was dancing with them, and that was the biggest fun of all, because some wanted to learn the Schuhplattel, the other one wanted to learn the dances the girls did, and so everything a little bit stumbling over each other's feet, but they wanted to share, and that was the most exciting part they took home. Everybody wanted to share and they had fun.
Oh, that's great.
You're on
I think, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Who wanted to remind Sandy singing with the Balkan group in the green room. And she said, "So mi Emilo." Does that make any sense?
Mio min mio?
No, Kathy Draper, this is singing with the Balkan group in the green room.
Yeah.
Esther,
Part of our group.
Mia and
So
Milo.
she's conveyed, she's a member of the Scandia Dancers. So she's actually contributing a comment. That was one of her highlights, was singing with the Balkan group.
Yeah.
Ah,
Awesome.
Yeah, Chris Sanson says
Sanson.
love. Yeah, they say love the personal stories and how people come alive with enthusiasm when they are hear the music from their home culture.
mhm.
And also Stephanie Holtzman, they said Tucson talk Quitos. Maybe you guys.
Those are all members of the Scandia group. And tusen tak means 1,000 thank yous. Quito, that's in Norwegian. And kitos is thank you in Finnish.
Ah, nice.
Oh,
Little
And
interpreting going on here.
And I think Hans had a comment about
I-
Semblanza. Go ahead.
Well, I think what you're doing in Semblanza is really important. Like I said, it builds bridges. And we weren't there in 2014. We were in Europe. But I think it's wonderful that you're taking that up and making that happen and being very successful at it. I can just relate you a story. We were in Bavaria and Austria again 2 years ago. We were invited to participate with the railroad workers who had a special event in Austria. And all the railroaders of Europe came in their costumes. And it was so interesting to see, like Romanian, the certain areas in Romania, ornate costumes that they wore. And, you know, we were just always mingling. That's the thing, is you mingle and you're interested, because we're traditionalists in a sense. It's not just our traditions that are important, it's everybody's traditions are important. And if you want to learn something about your traditions, learn something about somebody else's. And you might find that there's actually a connection there. And we spent like 4 days, 3 days, 4 days. There were musicians, bands playing. There was dancing performance. I'm disabled. I have a bad back and a bad knee, so I was the photographer. I did all the pictures for the group. But it was so interesting to see. So Semblanza is doing the same thing. So for me, that is very important that you're providing this service, I call it, to the community at large. It's really great that you're doing that, and I applaud you for it.
if there's any way that we can help you, we cannot dance. Dancing is not in our book anymore. But if we can support you in your endeavors with the European side, ask us. If you don't ask, if you do not ask, you cannot get a no.
That's right.
We are more than happy to help wherever we can.
Great, because we need help to connect with other countries from Europe. We need for them to, so, you know, people from Latin America, people from Asia, from Africa, know they're here and know they're we, all of us, you know, trying to maintain our culture alive. And it's so amazing that it's, you know, it takes, like they said, a village for us to put down the walls and see each other. And see each other, right?
Yeah.
And value what we have. And the friend over there, wow, to be amazed. And like you said, you can find so many similarities that we have.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
And it's so beautiful. So because it's been amazing. Thank you so much for this great conversation. And I'm having a lot of fun. I hope you did too. So I want you guys to share with us one last thing, is that how did you keep or maintain, you know, with all this time that we've been away from connecting with each other? How do you keep, you know, your groups and let's say la chispa viva? ¿Cómo se dice, Grace? ¿Cómo mantienen la chispa?
Your passion, your spark.
Eso, the spark, alive.
How did the group, you know, still come together? Even, you know, is it through Zoom or how is it that, or assignments?
Sandy, you go first.
Okay, so I think it very typical for groups. It's usually it's usually kept together by the women.
Mhm.
Typical as the driving forces of the gatherings. It's not always the case, but I think a lot of times it is. And we have the women of Scandia, not to exclude the guys, but we are a gang. I mean, we're just this big old gang. And so our dance captain, since Donna Tripp retired about 10 years ago, our dance captain, Stephanie Holtzman, has taken over as the director of the group. And she's organized Zoom meetings every other week. And it's great. And if you can't, we don't. Even when we're not dancing, we have holidays together. Like I said, it's become our extended family. Easter is mine, and I get 20 people packed in my house, and it's great. We have, during the pandemic, it's been really hard because we're also a very huggy group, and it's just one of the best things in life is hugging your pals. We've had groups of maybe 2s and 3s, you stand over there and we'll eat over here and maybe get together. But it's been hard. It's been really hard. But I think the Zoom and just phone calls, we just talk to each other, FaceTime. It's you can't practice. You can't have classes. So you just you do what you can do. But I thank goodness for telecommunications these days.
Yeah. I have to agree with you, Sandy. But usually it takes the women. We are not necessarily a chatterbox, but we know how to connect. Our group has one big advantage, a very huge one. We have our 50th anniversary coming up for next year. So we are in planning stages. And because of the planning stages, we have something to talk about, and we have something to work on, and everybody has to participate in it. Not everybody, but usually the ones who do the work, who are involved. But that there is a purpose and a need, and then we also have our calling sessions, because we have some members in our group who are 80, 87, 94. So we have to stay in touch with those fellas too. But we keep involved and in touch with them by phone. But otherwise, in general, we are working on our 50th anniversary and how we can do it and how we can we really approach it. Do we have to consider the disadvantage we are in right now or not? Because it is in April next year. Let's hope everything is over at Christmas time, because I have a big birthday coming up and I want a big birthday party. I want a huge one.
That was a direct message to you, Han.
Guys, I've been getting this message for some time.
I have a 7-0 coming up, so you don't get that every year. So I'd like to have a big birthday party. But anyway, it doesn't matter, whatever. We are just like you, Sandy. We are one big family, and we have little ones in the group, and the little ones, I mean, they came out of the womb and were dancing with us. That's how it happened with those little guys. And I miss them. We miss them because we don't see them. We don't get to see them. So really but at the very same time, we know what we are missing. If you have them all the time, if you are together all the time, maybe we had to learn that lesson. Maybe there is a lesson to learn to appreciate each other more. Who knows? I took it that way because we take many things way too much granted. So I think it brought us closer together than keeping us apart.
There you go. That's beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that. And just to let you know, Kathy Draper said, happy birthday in advance, Hannah. She's wishing you a happy birthday. And Stephanie Holtzman, you say, yeah, women.
Yeah, we're the strong ones. We're the organizers.
Yes. And Carla is our director, and now she's in charge of Semblanza 20 and 2021. And she says here, yes, you're already helping by being today present. Please continue to share and like. And she said also, bringing home to Los Angeles that was so touching. As immigrants, we come from USA, we come to USA, but we never leave our countries. We carry them in our hearts and we put the name high with all the things we do. Excited to be in our way to unite all cultures in October 2020 Semblanza. So that's our president, Carla Silva, and she's amazing. She's been commenting back and forth. But before we leave, I want you please to share with that. Go ahead, Hans. You have a comment? No.
No, I'm just folding
Oh,
my
okay.
hands.
Okay. I was like, oh, okay. So if you want to share with us one last thought about, anything you would like to share with us, and also to please share your social media. How can people follow you? How can people know about more about your groups and organization so we can have people to follow you as well? So go ahead, Sandy.
Ooh, boy. If you just Google Scandia dancers of Southern California, there are a lot of YouTube videos from the Laguna Folk Dance Festival that are posted. And I think there are contacts through the Folk Dance Federation. Also, they always have us in their newspaper. So if you just Google Scandia dancing, Scandinavian dancing, California, a lot of our stuff has been word of mouth because we've been around for so long that I don't really know if we have a contact, we don't have a website or anything like that. We all have jobs and everything. This is our passion and hobby in the evenings, but we don't have a full-time person mastering the whole group. What was the other question?
If you want to give us one last thought about, your culture and how to, I guess, anything to share with the audience, and
I would say that dancing is good for the soul. It doesn't matter what type you do, whether it's folk dancing, which is, promoting a culture and keeping that alive. It doesn't matter what type it is, but music and dance connect people. It's good for your heart. It's good exercise. It's great connections with people. And I would say that it truly brings people together, probably, I think more than any other way, because you're sharing, and it truly doesn't matter what brand it is, or a type, but it's a way that brings people together in such a joyful way, and borders drop, anxiety drops. It just brings out the fun and the happy in you. And so, and it doesn't matter how old or young you are. So, you see little teeny kids getting into it, you see older people. I mean, you can be a lifelong dancer. So I would just urge anybody to, figure out the music that makes your heart happy and then go for that one.
Yay, there you go. Beautiful. So Hannah and Hans,
for us it is it keeps us in the tradition. It keeps us sharing. It keeps us out and about with people so we can share. And yes, music makes the heart go fonder. So be happy, keep the music and keep the beat, and it keeps you young.
There you go. You want to add something, Hans?
Nope, she said it all. She did.
Oh, that's beautiful. And just to let you know that Rob already shared here the website for
Gemütlichen Schuhplattler.
Yes, yes. He shared. Thank you so much, Rob, for sharing the website. But also, what is it? Here it is. Grace, you have a last comment before we leave?
Thank you very much for being with us. We really appreciate it. You make Semblanza what it is. I would love to be able to make sure you always include us in your advertisement so that we can go and join you at your annual festivals.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, just always, we want to be invited to your birthday party, Hannah. We can make it big.
Yeah, but you have Christmas, and I have my birthday.
It's their birthdays on Christmas Day.
Oh, okay, okay.
Okay.
We still can give a bus.
Celebrate Christmas and think of me.
It's good for me because I only buy one present.
Oh,
No, I'm joking. She gets a present in July.
Nice. Very good.
so much. I really appreciate it. I'm very proud to be a part of the Tierra Blanca Arts Center for this reason, for the vision that Blanca, the founder, has of uniting all our cultures together so that, border walls can be down, come crumbling down. And I would have loved to have been part of that backstage dancing and stuff, be a part of that during Semblanza 2014. Thank you so much for sharing your time and your passion.
I want to thank you for allowing us to do that. It was a great pleasure to be here and to share some of our experiences with you. And we want to try to stay connected with you.
So feel free to contact us, and if we can help, we are more than happy to.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Blanca?
And just to let you know that we are working definitely, to put it together Semblanza 2020, and we wanted to share with everybody to stay connected because every Tuesday and Thursday, we're gonna have these talks with different directors. And who do we have for Thursday, Ms. Grace?
We will be featuring from the country of Spain, Clarita Corona from the city of Alcalá. She was a part of our Semblanza team in 2014. And from Ireland, we have the Tamra Irish School, Dance School, with Miss Julia. She is part of that video. She has a very lovely last name that I don't have in front of me and I cannot pronounce. It starts with an S. So she will be with us on Thursday. And
That's interesting.
Kindred will be out the following week, along with a lovely lady from the Mediterranean and from Greece. So we're rolling along, and then
Lovely.
Sounds interesting.
Lovely.
And we connecting.
we'll be
You're
here.
bringing the countries over here. No need to go over there.
That's right.
Lovely. Thank you so much. And thank you, Sandy. Lovely to meet you, Sandy.
You too. Mama. Happy birthday and happy 50th on your group.
So we
Yeah,
want to say
that will be
thank you.
lovely.
Yes, we want to say thank you to everybody and also to the wonderful team of Semblanza. I have forgotten to mention in the previous shows, but we have Claudia Diaz, who is amazing in making all these beautiful videos and doing all the social media and our website, keeping it up. Also, Jose Anaya, who is our amazing PR. And we have Carla Silva, like I mentioned, she's our president for 20 and 21 Semblanza. Ms. Grace, she's our talent coordinator. And we also have Gerardo Gutierrez, who is our artistic director. And of course, we have amazing team of volunteers, starting with Alice Rosas and other people who are, be a long list. But thank you so much to every single one of them, because everybody is putting their hearts, their souls to make this possible. And we invite, if you know any group that are here in California from another country that would like to participate in Semblanza, please connect with us. And if you have any, go ahead. Yeah, connect with Grace. We are Tierra Blanca Arts Center or Semblanza. We have both pages up. So please check our pages and check our programming. And one of our goals, just to let you know, guys, we're gonna have a home soon. So because we are working towards to get from the city either a building or a theater, and I want everybody to feel that this is their home, because I want to have performances for every single country, that you have your concert day every year, because I know as a producer, it's very hard to produce a show in a theater. So we want to have, and we're working, to have a home, and a home that could be for everybody. with a beautiful studio so people can just come and rehearse, and they share different cultures and music. You can sound over here from Sweden, and we can hear polkas from Germany over here. We can hear cumbia from over here. So that's our goal for Tierra Blanca, to have a home, a beautiful theater, so everybody can have a beautiful space, free. Because we work so hard into just the costumes. I'm sure I'm not going to ask Hans and Hannah to tell us how much those costumes cost, but it's a beautiful work. And please, whenever you have a chance, buy costumes, because all this, helps our people, our artisans that work so hard. Never say, oh no, please give me for less. I pay less. No, pay what they deserve, because they work very, very hard, and they put many hours. So don't ever question the price. On the opposite, give them more, because I'm sure they're just going by, but I'm sure they put in many hours. So evaluate what we have, and evaluate the work of your people. So once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. We are very high. Oh my God, ya nos fuimos hasta las 7:30. I can't believe it. It's supposed to be 1 hour, but I was so excited. I just looked at the time. I can't believe it. But thank you so much. We're gonna leave the live, and we're gonna say thank you, everybody. Wish everybody to live their culture. Gracias a todos.
Gracias.
Stay healthy. Stay
So
healthy.
how do you say in Germany? Gracias, bye.
Dankeschön.
Dankeschön.
Wiedersehen.
Dankeschön.
In Sweden,
Tack så mycket och hej då.
gracias, hasta luego. Thank you.